Greetings, brothers and sisters, kings and queens of the Melanated Nation, of the revolutionary movement. It took some time for me to make this because I had to sit back and reflect. Then I had to look at all aspects of everything that went down. Some of you know um, about some recent events that was very distasteful, colorful yet distasteful, that I was a participant in. And I'm going to go into the measures of shame that I have with that and the things I plan to do in order to make restitution for my participation in those events. Um, I wanted to do this um, because I understand the impacts of those things. I do. I truly do. I understand the impacts and the detriment that those type of antics played out on a on the world stage can affect the the movement as a whole. I wanted to do it here on a untethered platform, um, so nobody could critique it and say, "Oh, he's doing it on that platform, so he must be in allegiance to that." I didn't want to no interview style, so somebody can steer the conversation in a way that makes good for their platforms and stuff like that or whatever. And I'm going to talk about that here as well, about the whole platforms. But I want to get into the responsibility that I have when it comes to this thing called leadership, that we all have who are leaders. First off, to you all, I say, I apologize immensely for the losing of my bearing. Um, I was going to say military bearing, but this isn't exactly a military, but we mimic the style, the order, the construct of that of military acumen, and I grossly um, dismissed mine in an act of emotionalism because I lacked self control. I did. I lacked self control. Regardless of to the elements that are not known to many of you as to what brought about that, I am still without excuse for my um, outbursts, for my absence of decorum, for my character being in compromise. There's so much that's unknown about the events that led up to the event, and really, it's no never mind. It's no never mind. No matter what I know that went on in the background or the elements that affected me, um, still I had a responsibility to maintain self control. I disappointed fellow members of the coalition. I disappointed my organization, my personal organization here, in which I am the commander and president. And I disappointed those that are both in allegiance to the movement, um, and those that aspire to become part of the movement and looking for a place that they can call home in the service to their people. I know I disappointed a lot of people. Some have reached out. I've been reached out by some of everybody. All kind of phone calls, texts, meetings, conversations, DMs, advices given. And I was told on, and I was told by a number of people on how to, I guess you could say, save face. What I should do, what I should write, what I should say, where I should go and do it, where I should say, and honestly, I respectfully say I appreciate all those advices. I really do because it showed that a level of give a damn um, for my for my person, for myself. But it was necessary for me to take this by the horns, be a man, take it on the chin, take my wounds in the front, and handle this. Just to let you all know, so many. The biggest thing people asked me was, "Why DE? Why did you? Why did you?" And let me and I'm gonna do my best to explain. I'm gonna do my best to explain, but not excuse, not excuse, because there's no amount of whatever I can say that would ever relieve me for what I've done. And as a leader, I've told you all, from my days at NFAC, now currently in my days of Nubia, being part of the coalition, be a part of this movement, I've always uttered and I've always said, hold me accountable. I am not the leader that feels as though everything that I go through has got to be this personal, hidden level of development. I believe that your people respect you more when they can see that you're able to take on the frailties and the fragilities of what may be some of the chinks in your armor. I truly believe a man's character is measured by what he endures, not by what he evades. So I will never run from the developments that I stumble into or that come my way and challenge me. It's just what it is. It's called character building. I don't have all the answers, and I take this call and I take this charge seriously. I understand I understand all that comes with it. I understand it's even a duty or a call that has life threatening, life debilitating uh, risks, and sometimes even consequences. And yet I am here. Yet we are all here understanding that history already told us what this level of service or just a participation in this level of revolutionary service, the prizes that come with it are not flattering. We understand that. So, as a leader in this, I know the crosshairs are on my head even more so. All leaders understand that because they go for the head in order to take out the body. So, as a figurehead, it is only right that I take responsibility for my great stumble. Now, again, just to give context, what happened between me and that other person? What happened between me and that other person was a series of events. Um, and it's hard to discuss this without understanding that there's a certain, I guess you could say, unwritten code that's just that humanity has adopted, especially amongst men. There's certain verbiage that is just not commonplace, and of uh, there's a certain degree of things that take place in language that causes responses that these are the only responses fitting for these type of things. Um, Even amongst women, there's certain things that women don't say to each other because it's just understood. Once you say that, the temperature changes drastically, and it may not. There's no time for words to be exchanged. There's other methods of um, discourse. So it's just what it is. Now, I, as a man, there's certain things that took place. Again, I'm not going into all the details, but it's just sometimes you just need understanding. Um, the name callings and stuff like that, you know, I ignored initially. I ignored. There was no response from me. all the B words and stuff like that, and suck this and suck all of that and this, that, and other. Mm. I ignore it. No response from me, no calls, no texts, no social media, nothing. Then there was the double down. Memes, videos, personal things take extracted from my page in order to lampoon personal moments in my life, with my family, with ladies in my life and stuff like that or whatever, uh, different works, projects, whatever, and lampooned in order to reference them as some type of homosexual acts, homosexual references and things like that or whatever. Um, again, as a man, I said nothing. I did nothing. Gave no response. Then the triple down. the the interview that took place on the platform of Tahaka Bay. All kind of lies and stuff like that about my character, service record, everything. Even posting video my sister on it. I mean, again, all of that didn't say anything. And then something happened. Somewhere within the 3 hour mark of that video, I heard a phrase. I heard a statement of declaration. I am going to slap the shit out of Desert Eagle on the world stage. Brothers and sisters, after all the gay stuff, after all the suck this, and after all the bees and this, that, and the other, and after all of that, whatever that went on that I didn't respond to, um, I guess they say sorry, not sorry. That right there was like click. That 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 was I did. Now, it doesn't make me right. It doesn't. And I went on that platform. I went on to Harker Bays to respond to that because, again, as a man, there's only so much I'm going to take. But I realized that that virtue that's been embedded in me, that's really embedded in a lot of men, most men. Those of you who hear this, you have, whether you're a man or you're a woman, you know either yourself as a man or know other men that it's just, mm-mm, it just, those kind of words is like, oh no. And then to do it in a way to make it seems as though, as they say, oh, you that dude. Like yeah, we I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna do like yeah, you that dude. Like, yeah, I can do that too. It's difficult. It's difficult to sequester that. And then as a leader, you stuck in this trifecta of responsibilities. You know, you got to say, okay, I can say something like in one lane. I have to be a be a person to the people, and I have to respond in a way that doesn't put me bad in their eyes. The other lane, this is for my personal convictions. This is a position of leadership and service that I do unto the Most High for the Most High's people. So the way in which I engage in this, I have to be careful on how I represent the Most High because I've been entrusted with His work. This isn't mine, so I can't handle it the way that I want to. And then there's the third lane, which is how I personally feel about this and what I want to do for my own personal satisfactions of security, namesake, and stuff like that. So when you have all of those things, and it's like, okay, which way to go? It's like I got a third shoulder. There's a good angel, bad angel, and there's another one. It's like man, it's confusing. And sometimes emotions take over impulse. And again, regardless of all of those factors, I had a responsibility to self manage. It took some time when it happened, and I was reflecting, and I was in Alabama and I was driving. And while I was on the road, I took the time to meditate. And I got into a zone where I talked to the Most High. And I had to reflect like, what happened? Why how did I get there? What was it that I didn't pay attention to that was um, erecting the old man in me, the old way of doing things, the old way to satisfy myself in whatever level of grievance, discomforts, or angers that I had. Why did I feel the need to resort that way? And it's like I heard this revelation. It was like, you can't go any higher in me until you are willing to go lower in yourself. And at first I didn't understand that, but then when I thought about it is I realized in that moment of my indiscretion, as some of you saw who did see it, even in that moment, I was so angry that I couldn't think, talk. It was just so much anger in me. The only thing that I wanted to do was, well, but I couldn't think clear. But one of the things that I did realize was that I dropped the ball. And I took responsibility at that moment, but I realized then I needed more uh, introspection. Like, okay, wait a minute. Let me look within myself and find out where I failed. Where I failed. Where did I give the place to fail here? So that's why I'm taking responsibility. And when you look at that word responsibility, that's what it is. It's response ability. Your ability to respond to things when things don't go right. My ability right now that I'm enacting is letting you all know that because I take it serious about my commitment to be accountable to you, I am not embarrassed. I am not hiding. I am not running. I am announcing that my developments and my shortcomings that took place before you, you are deserving of my apologies and my acknowledgement to my wrong and commitment to be better. I have a sordid past where uh, those very things um, have gotten me in lots of trouble. Um, upbringing and um, background to how life has been hard and stuff like that is of no excuse because you have to master yourself differently. When I was young, when I was young and I was taking up martial arts, I always had a temper. I always had a temper and quick to fight. It's like that was my relief for the conditions in which we lived in, being poor, not having much and stuff like that. When it came to the teasing, I found it therapeutic to silence the I guess you could say the honestly the factual pointing out of my state of being. You know, when you when you're poor like that, you rocking uh, your brother's pants, and he rocked your pants yesterday, and and everybody teasing and stuff like that or whatever. Kids are sometimes they just mercilessly truthful. And so I put myself in a position where the only defense that I had was my fists. And because that was silence the laughter, that was silence the teasing. And unfortunately, without having another outlet to get over some of the things that that bothered me. I took comfort in the fight. I took comfort in the scrap. And without having that checked, it put me in situations that permeated all through my teenage and young adult life for a long time, and many incidents, lots of handcuffs, lots of handcuffs, lots of problems. And the biggest problem with all of that is that reactionary spirit like that. In some ways, I saw that it benefited me because the things that were bothering me, when I answered them back by that level of choosing violence, then all of a sudden those things weren't bothering me no more. So psychologically, I said to myself, this works. So any and everything that came my life came my way, hey, why not? But at this age, at this stage in my life, that's no longer fitting for me. Not as a grown man. Now I'm not gonna say that oh man. No, it's been several years since I've actually had a an incident like that where it put me in that position. Where I'm like, yo, let's go there. Now, of course, men are men. Of course, there's a few words said and like, what you want to do? What? Oh, let's do it. Of course, there's been a few incidents here or there, but for the most part, I don't live my life like that. And for me to live a life that is more stable, peaceful, comfortable, there was no need for me to put myself in that level of defensive posture to the point where I just wanted to choose violence. It's very difficult to say that knowing some of the things that were said and done. And it's like, okay, what is the repercussion of those actions done towards me? Um, but that's where development comes in. And so when I got the revelation that in order to go higher, in order to go higher in the most high, I gotta first go lower in me. It's almost like a personal excavation. And when I looked at where my heart really was, where my mind really was, I realized that a lot of things in my life, as far as certain character traits, were covered, not cleansed. I realized that there was still the need to, as they say, shut shit down when it get out of line. And it's like, what profit will I have in enacting those things? At this point, this is not a cliche, but I have a lot to lose. Um, I do. And so it is necessary for me to develop different behavioral um, um, responses when I'm challenged in a way that may seem threatening or otherwise. Um, I had this situation happen before in Texas. Um, I misread a situation and reacted to it with a measure of violence that got me in a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble. And I don't want to repeat that again in my life. I had to literally rebuild my life, get all my security clearances back, get all my rights restored, get all I mean it was a mess. It cost me a lot of time and a lot of dime. And I just don't want to find myself um, repeating that again. So in my mishap, I've learned a lot about myself. And in understanding that, I can only be better for those that are in the voice of my command, the more I take responsibility for the growths that are needed. I'm not perfect, and no leader is. And I know some can't stand this level of transparency to those who serve under them. But I'm not afraid. I've never been that scary dude. I've always had my, I guess you could say, divine orders in place. Whatever I do before the Most High, I will not be afraid for the judgment of most men, because my true judge is the Most High. I can I can suffer the ridicule. You can mock me. You can make your memes. You can do whatever. You can have your perspectives, and that's fair. You can have your opinions. You can have whatever. But at the end of the day, you won't have my final judgments. That is reserved only to the true master. You are allowed in life to have whatever levels of opinionisms that you care to evoke. That's your business. That's your perspective. That is your human right to do so. But I don't fear that. I fear the judgments of letting down the Most High, who placed me in the places that I'm at, who has given me the charge of certain responsibilities and entrustments that when I neglect or when I compromise, to Him and Him only, am I truly uh, in jeopardy of judgment. Your opinions, it doesn't have that level of effect or impact. I wanted to start something. I wanted to start something, and this is the reason why I did it on this page. And it's called Speaking in General. One of the things is, and this is no, I'm going to say this too. When it comes to Taharka Bay, I made my apologies to those that reached out to me and that called me. But I personally made a phone call to Taharka Bay. Yes, I did. And I know a lot of people have issues with him. And I've said on his platform and even in conversation with many others, I don't have the issue that a lot of people have with him. Taharka Bay or anybody else utilizes their platform uh, for critiques and opinions, perspectives, whatever. That okay, they got an opinion about it. They looked at, and that's fine. But they're only taking information from three places. That's if it's posted, if it's public, or if it's provided. So those who got platforms where they just make things up and just start slander or whatever, of course, I understand the level of disdain for that. Um, as far as me, I haven't gone through anything with him that he makes his jokes or whatever, and even that, I'm like, okay, Tahaka, whatever. Um, but as far as his platform, I actually reached out to him, and the very next day, and maybe he'll say something to this effect or whatever, or maybe he won't. But I contacted him. I reached out to him because of the virtues and tenets that I live by. I contacted him to make an apology for my character on his platform. You see, that's that man's house. That's that man's digital space. And one of the things about him is he's not about all that cussing and cursing and stuff like that or whatever. He doesn't subscribe to that. He doesn't communicate that way. And he's often, if you look at his stuff, he'll say like, oh, he points out the lack of decorum when people are challenged with certain things, and they respond with that. They stoop down to that level of incendiary language and swearing and all of that, whatever. So because I understand that those are the rules of his house, I called him and I told him, "Hey, brother, I apologize for disrespecting your platform." And he told me, he was like, "Hey, look, you know, Desert Eagle, I once he knew the backstory about all the other posts and the memes and the suck this and you gay this and you're gonna go suck this man off and all of the, he was like, hey man, I understand. I understand. Like that's a little bit too much. It's a little bit too far. Like, but he did say that there was a moment in in that level of participation where Instead of seeking to be understood, there should have been a level of understanding between both parties. So I get it. I get it. It's my moment. Um, I didn't want to do again. I didn't want to do this on anybody else's platform. Um, Now, I personally don't know about all the things surrounding uh, why so many, and I'm gonna be honest, it's a lot. Again, I didn't know these things. There's a lot of sore, sour um, opinions or dispositions um, that people have for Malik Zulu Shabazz. And when you hear these things, it's not so much the new Black Panther Party, but they have a sore side eye. I mean, it's it's just weird. Not even weird. It's just for Malik Zulu Shabazz. I don't know the histories. I don't know the histories. I don't know the whys. I don't know the ins and outs. I've heard vague stories and stuff like that or whatever, but nothing ever just like boom, like I don't know. So because of all of that, just as the scriptures say, just shun the very appearance of evil. So it's like nobody's platform, nobody's anything, not going on to Bay. Some people said reach out to OC and this, that. I know. Listen, this is as raw as it gets. These are the words of Desert Eagle, and this is where I stand. I am absolutely I am both disgusted, mortified, and I'm in a position of, again, self evaluation. And as a leader, I just wanted to say my apologies to all of you, whether you're in my ranks or not. I owe you an apology. That's it, and I'm very apologetic. That's all I can do. I call this speaking in general. And the reason why I say that is because there's so much debate as to what is a general. There's different tiers of being a general. I'm familiar with the Army system. I don't know all the different ins and outs of the Navy, Marines, you know, Coast Guard, Air Force, or whatever. But in the Army, you will not even make it to general until you. Now, there's certain situations, could be wartime, quick advancement, whatever, for headship that is needed or whatever. And there's been plenty of generals in history that have been made generals even in their teenage years because it was a battle situation and it called for somebody to be the head. All right. Traditionally, through regular rank and file in time to get those levels of promotion. When you come in as a lieutenant to work your way up all the way up to general, first lieutenant, second lieutenant, captain, uh, uh, colonel, major, then up to the different generals, brigade general, major general, lieutenant general, and then general of the army. Uh, that takes a career. That takes a career. That takes almost 30 years to get there, 25, 30 years to get to that point. When you look at most generals, they salt and pepper, they gray. They don't put in that time. They came in West Point as some buck lieutenant getting their butter bars and stuff like that, and they had to go through the ranks. They old. You don't get no 25-year-old general. No. So this structure and the nomenclature of general. To me, a general is one in the movement that is one that has been recognized as somebody that's kind of like a CEO, a an organizer, someone that is resourceful, someone that can lead, someone that can make things happen, somebody that got good character, somebody that understands the vision for the movement and is constantly in the works of progressive change towards revolution. They have a stellar work of service. So it's a character thing. It's a character thing and it's a management thing. It's not so much battlefield. It ain't that kind of level of rank and file. The honestly, I've been a commander of my unit uh, here for the longest. We do not broadcast our moves. That has been a staple of my ethics from day one. Nobody gave me that. Nobody told me to operate according to that. It's just my way. All right. With all the information that's out there that will bring everybody's movement to an absolutely screeching halt, incarcerations and all kind of other life debilitating moves that the powers that be will bring upon us in this revolutionary movement, you have to learn how to move with some level of silence. You can't just keep on providing them everything, posting your weapons, posting where you're training at, posting everything. And everybody knows who's been in this with me. I absolutely hate flyers. I hate them with a passion. Goodness gracious, I hate them. I hate as a fighter, I've been always told never telegraph your punches. Now I do understand for certain community building exercises and things like that, it is a needful thing. In certain cases, certain levels of specificity, whatever, but even in doing so, certain information should not be cascaded all over the flyer as a known. Maybe that's just me. That to each his own. But here in GA, no. People will tell you, I don't even want to know your name. I don't. There's certain things that I reserve not to know. Because as a commander, if the doors get kicked in and the boys do come knocking, whatever, I understand that the greatest way to infiltrate or to take down my organization is right here. I'm the biggest component that they will go after in order to kill the rest of the body. So I have to advantage the body with a certain levels of protections that I don't advantage the outside to get on the inside. That's just me. It's just my protocol. But as a leader, there's certain responsibilities that I understand that I have. Most of all, like I said, I will always treat this work as if I am in service to the Most High because this doesn't belong to me. This isn't my organization, my unit. These aren't my people. I don't approach it that way. That's just my ethic. I look at it as no, I am a tool used in the framework of the Most High for His work. These are His people and I am nothing more than a manager of the affairs of the Most High. And I have a responsibility to the Most High that I conduct myself in a way to give Him glory, that His people can progress thereby in under my leadership. This has nothing to do with me. I don't own this. This ain't my thing. This ain't my, when we start having that level of vanity, and applying it with this personal, so me, then that means the flesh is now erected. The flesh is in the place. And I'm not a Christian man. I'm not, but I do subscribe myself to spiritual principles and the way that I operate. And that's why I am here, sitting here, sending out this apology and making some things known that um, it's just my virtues. You don't have to agree with them. You don't. That's what makes us unique. That's what makes us special, that we are individuals in the way that we approach things. And I'm not saying that the way I look at it, you have to. But I was wrong. Now, there's some people that got asked questions about, what about the coalition? What about this? What about... Listen, I respect the brothers and sisters that have come together that want to coalesce and create a universal standard. Now, the universal standard of operations and ethics and stuff like that, it is not created yet. It is being worked on. I would hope that in my failure and what I did in my impulsive emotional reaction to things that um, angered me would be a case study. I didn't, of course, nobody wants to be out front. Nobody wants to be first to mess up, to blunder, to stub their toe and fall in front of everybody. Nobody wants to do that. But it's not about how you fall, it's about how you stand back up. So these standards are not created yet, but I can hope that this right here would be, um, I guess you could say, a mimic's virtue. Like when you fall in front of people, just take responsibility. Just own it. Just own it. You're human. All right. No need to hide. I'm like, nah, ain't nobody gonna see me slipping. No, no, no. I gotta be Teflon all the time. No, because that makes people feel as though you're phony. You're not approachable. You're not real. And the reality of my shortcomings, it is what it is. Now, I want to say this. I was going to say something else, but I want to say this real quick. This platform, I'm creating a platform, which you see, I done created already. Yes, speaking in general. And what I would like to see, you, it's up to you. But what I would like to see is, for those of you out here in the movement, um, that we have a place that we can control the narratives and the information factually of where we are in the movement, who we are, what we do, why we do, and what we plan to do without compromising and giving up too much information that may be a detriment to the forward progress of your individual organization or the movement as a whole. All right. You need to be able to speak in a way and have a platform where the dissemination of information out there to people for your recruiting benefits and everything else, it can be unfiltered, unbiased, and only subject to the facts in which you put out, not somebody's spin narrative or anything else. Now, mind you, people will always have, again, opinion, perspective. That's no harm or no foul. That's just a human virtue that even the Most High put in us. Okay? Somebody could think about whatever and feel, oh, I give you an example. The video that I did, in rendering the rebuke, oh man, that was sliced and diced. He's reading the script and he's doing this and he's doing that, doing it. Ugh. I would do none of that. All right? Just information. But I have technicians and I have them in vans. I have them in vans, trucks, SUVs, and I get alerts. Even when they go into the office, they go into the tech room and stuff. They get their daily whatever. And so what happens is if I have my phone, when I have my phone next to me, I could see who's checking into the office. I've got cameras in there, everything. I can see who's checking in the office, what materials they grab, whatever. And we got T-sheets. Some of you probably even know about T-sheets. They punch in, all that, whatever. So I'm getting these alerts while I'm recording because it's first thing in the morning. So I'm looking and like, oh, he's looking for a script and he's reading this. I'm like, Jesus Christ. But it's all good. So I'm sorry. That was just, there's just remnants of that whole ordeal that go on in my mind. Is like, I cannot believe some of the stuff that I heard, but it's okay. All right. Um, and while I'm just taking a side note here in this expose of apology and stuff like that or whatever, um, don't let nobody hold your past, your talents, your abilities against you. Yes, I've done Super Bowl commercials. I've done all kind of things with her. That doesn't make me a plant. Oh, he's an actor. No, I've acted in some things, but I like money. So when I find out how TV and movies make money and stuff like that, I got into executive producing. Like, wait a minute, you mean the executive producer? Somebody is still getting paid from shows from the Waltons? They still getting 100, 2, 3, $400,000 checks a quarter for a show that everybody dead on, but the estate still getting that money? How did that happen? Executive production. Oh, so you put up the money and it's indefinitely into perpetuity? No matter what rendition it's in, it could be on VHS, DVD, this, that, and other, and you continuously getting paid? Why not? Hey, bruh, I got a restaurant idea. It's vegan. I'm not no vegan. I eat steak and everything else. Yeah. Hey man, I want an idea for a vegan restaurant. Like kind of like fast food, but Greek the vegan way. Sounds interesting. What is it about? Here's the menu. Here's this, that, and the other, whatever. You know, me and my family want to do it, but we're looking for the capital. Where you going to open it up at? Over here. Man, there's a lot of white folk over there. They into that. How much you need? What's the kickback residuals? What? Let's do it. Let's do it. There you go. Hey man, we want to open up another one. You want to get in on this one, bruh? Say no more. How much you need? I'm an investor. I, you know, so stop having people. Don't have people discredit you for the things that you have that can be an asset to the movement or to your organization or whatever. All of you guys talents in some way that are good for the movement. Don't have nobody put you in a position of sequestering because the only thing that's fitting for you is just let me just show up, let me feed the people, let me just hold my rifle and wear my uniform, because if they find out that I could sing, they're going to say I try to come into the movement to advance myself. If they find out that I'm good with numbers and I know how to take the investments that we make from paying our monthly dues, and I can make $500 turn into $15,000 in a week, but no, they're going to think I'm trying to hustle the movement. No, don't do that. Be you. Use the abilities that the Most High gave you in order to erect Most High's people. Don't be ashamed of who you've been made to be in order for you to be the asset in this work. Now, of course, there's some actors, there's some players and stuff like that or whatever. I get it. There's some faulty people. But don't put yourself in a measure of shame because you have been gifted, talented, blessed, and steered for a path that will help benefit the Most High's people. Do not. Don't let them badmouth you and poor mouth you and shame you into. And another thing, don't have anybody make you feel as though because you've ascended to some level of all clear and you got your head above water, now it is your sole responsibility to take everything you got and make sure you finance the invoices for everybody's life's dramas. No. Contributions, yes. But sole responsibility, absolutely not. Don't let nobody guilt and shame you and be like, well, you know, I understand that in this fight, there's a personal responsibility that we all have. We have a personal responsibility to understand what we're in. And I'm sorry, I can't stress this enough. Make your call in election sure. And I'm about to wrap up. I think first I'm about to wrap up with this. First of all, I thank you all for just taking the time out to listen. Um, I do. And like I said, I had to get this off my chest because I owe you. I owe you as a people. I owe you as, you know, my formation. I owe the coalition. I owe the revolutionary movement. And these are my apologies. So I will continue by saying what I was getting to the point. You will be so much more comforted in this work when you put yourself in a position of personal advantage and peace. I can't stress this enough. Please find out what it would take to just get some life insurance to get your life in order. If you just got some life insurance, because the probability of this thing, I guess you could say, upticking, and the disadvantages that come along with freedom fighting, you know, possible incarceration, possible death, uh, just they just debilitate the lives of those that want to stand up for us. It's just what they do. That's their protocol. All right. They do whatever they can to shut us down and shut us up. But the way that you can find yourself navigating to a place where you're damn near fearless, even for that to come, and even if it did come, you know those that you love are still took care of. Make sure you get yourself some life insurance and apply other disciplines. There are people, brothers and sisters, in this work in every organization. In every organization, there's at least one person that really got life together. And sometimes they may be in a little bit of trepidation to let people know about it because they don't want to take on what they may feel is the burden of helping everybody fix their stuff or whatever. But if you happen to be that brother, sister, couple, whatever that may be in that position, don't run from it. Don't run from it. Here in Georgia, we've talked about it, investing, all of that. We've pulled our resources together. We've done things. We've done things to, I guess you could say, advance our tomorrows. I'm not going to go into all of that, whatever, but we've done things. We've entrusted one another to do things, and let's just say, seeds grow. They grow. They take root and they grow. So get together and form some stuff, whatever. It can happen. Um, I'm going to wrap up because I feel better. I feel better because I took the time out to just go ahead and take responsibility for my buffoonery. I did. I really dropped the ball. I really dropped the ball. And I'm going to be moving a little bit differently because there's certain revelations that I've gotten from this, not only of myself, but others as well. This didn't only expose my developments, it also, for me, uh, it exposed other deficiencies in other areas, in other people. So it's only necessary that I make certain adjustments. Um, my service will still be for the people. Um, we're going to also be recruiting. We're going to also be recruiting. We've been working here in Georgia uh, for Nubia. We've been going hard, a lot of paperwork, a lot of different things like that, whatever. My organization isn't one all about the marches and the bullhorns and stuff like that or whatever. Not to discredit that. That is definitely a facet of the fight that is needed. And all those supports will always be for that. You see me. I've been out there for the movements. Um, my people have been out there. Um, but there's a certain way we move that's more clandestine. Uh, yeah. Yeah, to each his own how you want to engage in that. But uh, all the flag flying and no, I rather there's just the work be seen. Nobody got to know my organization name out there, and so that's just me. That's just me. It's like, let the work be seen by the ancestors and the Most High who sent us. Um, mm-mm. So yeah, yeah. I'm sorry. I thought about something, a flashback, but we're going to be recruiting here in Georgia. Like I said, we put a pause to it for a while because in understanding where things are going and stuff like that or whatever, our focus for our people has been different. We've had to do some internal changes and shifts and stuff like that or whatever, but there will be an announcement coming soon. And here's the thing, um, for any of you that may hear this, and other than just lies and whatever, I submit myself to any of you that want to be a part of Nubia. If you want to really see the leadership of Desert Eagle, join. There will be an announcement coming soon that there will be a recruiting coming up very soon. We just had a meeting about it last night about some things that we plan on doing and stuff like that, and we're going to open it up for recruiting. But if you really want to see the headship of what Desert Eagle is like as a commander, join. There's been plenty of people in NFAC and stuff like that. Georgia was a tremendous chapter. And if you really want to see the ethics, the character of my leadership for yourself, not the lies and the rumors and all that kind of stuff, whatever, and people who got in and never made themselves active and all kind of stuff like that or whatever, then put me on a leadership probation. Again, I'm accountable to you. I have to effectively manage the affairs of the Most High in order for your benefit. Put me on a probation. Say, you know what? Let me see. He talk a good one, you know. Let me see. Let me see if he's really about health and wealth. Test it. Test it. There's people around there tell you. Just test it. Um, I believe in giving people their roses. The first bouquet that you're always going to get from me is just the roses of my service unto you. Because I love my people. I love the Most High's people. I love the people that He made me a part of. And I just want to offer you that service. So if you want to test it out, just stay tuned. There'll be information about how to come aboard with Nubia, how to submit your applications and stuff like that or whatever. Um, but yeah, that's all I'm gonna say to that. Other than that, um, should I or shouldn't I? There were some things that were said about the um, service. You know, when people get upset, they just say anything to try to dispel or discredit certain things. And let me tell you something, Georgia, all of Georgia, especially Georgia that came about for the whole NFAC. Let me tell you something, Georgia. You have led the way. Y'all know what y'all did at Hashim's funeral. Y'all was so stellar and so on point. And I heard somebody try to take credit for the works in which you've done. Y'all went out there to Hashim's and Zenga's funeral. Y'all set up perimeter. Y'all, there's a couple people that was little vagrants or whatever that y'all shoot off and stuff like that. Y'all know what y'all did. Y'all know what GMJ said to y'all. How he's been around everywhere. At that time, he'd been to several places. And he said he's seen a lot of what people were calling themselves chapters. And he told y'all he has never seen anybody as professional as what y'all did. Y'all did that on your own. I was so proud as a commander because y'all represented. Y'all represented what we stand for, what we do, how we do. And because of that, he made y'all first. Said officially, Georgia ATL, you are the first sanctioned chapter of the NFAC. What I've seen in y'all today was nothing but professional. He looked at me and said, Commander, good damn job. So don't let nobody else take the credit for what you've done. I salute my people. Because I respect you, you know I ain't saying your names on these platforms, but you know who you are. And my sister, I was so proud to see you out there celebrating that moment with your general. He wanted you out there. He said, "Yes, bring her." And you stood up out of your chair and you got a chance to hug that man and take a picture with him because you was glad to be in service. Don't let nobody take that from you. I salute you. I love you. I love my people and all that you have done. So don't ever let nobody rob you of the works in which you've done. Thank you, my people, for standing up and taking the time off and being out there in Brunswick on both occasions, representing for the outcries of justice for our slain brother Ahmaud Arbery. So don't let nobody discredit and take and rob you of the service that you were in. And FYI, when it was GMJ's little war thing, ain't nobody had on no suit. I was fresh to death. And everybody know it. And not only that, it was an honor for me to be a state commander at the time, to be a state commander at the time, uh, and be out there and look out for the troops of every organization. They were in Georgia. I stepped outside and realized that we were on the inside, eating and hobnobbing and joking and rubbing elbows, and all the troops that were outside standing guard, looking sharp, ready, with the shits. It was an honor for me to be a host as a leader and go ahead and make sure everybody out there was took care of. I did that. That's what leaders do. So all that disrespect to the works, to the credits of people's work, y'all watch out for people like that who want to discredit and omit your service, especially those who claim to be in the realm of leadership. My people, my comrades, you will always get flowers from me. And my people will tell you all the time, every time I get a chance to recognize whatever they've done, I always say, I'm going to give you your flowers while you can smell them. Always. So again, I make an invitation that an announcement will be made that there will be a recruitment coming up. And if you really want to see for yourself that you want to critique, again, I don't have no problem. Put me on probation. Examine me. I'm supposed to be examined. I'm not that leader that be like, nah, I'm a leader. Who are you to look at me and judge me, this, that, and other? You're supposed to. The scripture says you will know them by the fruits they bear, right? So why am I going to be afraid to be on a block of examination? Let's see how you are as a leader. Let's see if you're there for your people. Let's see if you're in physical fitness. Let's see where your mind is at. Let's see if you're resourceful. Let's see if all of that. Why not? I'm not afraid of that. I'm not. Desert Eagle ain't nobody's punk. Never been. And I damn sure ain't afraid of the people that the Most High entrusted me with. If I fear you, how can I function for you? If I'm looking at you skeptical, how can I be of service to you? See, you're only going to give your heart to those things that you believe in. And if I don't believe in you under my command, how in the world am I going to serve you thereby? Examine me. Put me on probation. See what it is. For those followers out there, I know not everybody's a leader. All right? I know not everybody's a leader. And some people just want to be good followers, want to be in service. You want a home that you can call yours, that you can feel good about being in the service to, that you can feel good about taking the risks and being in service to. This is my first step in letting you know, whoever you are out there, wherever you are out there, because we need people chapters everywhere. Every organization does. Every organization needs those arteries in order to mobilize effectively for the people that they got a passion for helping and being of service to. This is my commitment as a leader in the movement. Yes, as a general. Yeah, not in the rank and file structure as a military, but in the understanding of leadership. Yes. So all of that, oh yeah, general, Jesus Christ. I'll leave it alone and I just conclude. So, y'all want to see what it's about? An announcement will be coming out soon. For my brothers and sisters in this cause, if you want to, let's talk. Here's a platform that we can do whatever we want to do on. That's subject to our governance. That's subject to the informations that we want to put out. And we're going to speak in general about this whole thing. All right? Thank you for your time. I know this is going to be hacked up and whatever. That's just what negative people do. You're going to find fault in something. All right? All you negative Nancy's out there, I know you're going to find some level of fault in something. You just got to. And I don't mean to be petty right now, but today's date is the 23rd. It is now August 23rd. There's all kind of rumors going out there like, yeah, I challenged Desert Eagle to a knuckle up fest and he backed down. I want anybody. I want anybody. This is August 23rd. I want somebody. I got 3 phone numbers, 3 business and 2 cell phones. All right. And a fax line. And I got a host of emails, 2 social media platforms, IG and Facebook. Okay. Somebody produce a receipt that's from any date prior to this date showing that you reached out to me and said, yeah, let's knuckle up, let's meet, just get it, and I backed down. I'm sorry. I had to punctuate this thing with a little bit of petty because I'm tired of these fake dudes trying to erect themselves over some stuff they ain't got nothing to do with and just trying to build a name. And, man, come on, man, get yourself some business. All right, get yourself some validation elsewhere. But you challenged me to a fight and I back down. Produce the receipt. Produce the receipt. I'm sorry, y'all. I had to be petty. I just had to. But I close this out with saying thank you. I apologize. I apologize. I apologize. I apologize. No defense. I'm taking it all here. It's all here. My wounds will be found in the front. All right. I apologize. All right. I love y'all. I thank you for the opportunity to be transparent, to be real. All right. So, peace and love. Stay indigenous, stay black, stay whatever. All right. We got so many damn adjectives out there. It's ridiculous. But whatever makes you feel comfortable, be that. All right. Be that. Make your call and election sure. And of always, acknowledge the Most High and walking in excellence. All right. And for you leaders out there, don't be afraid to be real. Don't be afraid to be transparent. Don't be afraid to stumble. All right. Because sometimes you got to stumble in order to stabilize. All right. So, peace out. Thank you very much. And I'll see you all on the battlefield. Stay tuned. Speaking in general.